Welcome to Mini Adventures. Thank you all so much for being supporters on Buy Me a Coffee. I really appreciate your support in supporting the podcast and for listening. I hope you enjoy the mini adventures. So for this month's mini adventure, I'm going to do something a little bit different. The short story contest just hit its deadline. Winners have not yet been announced. So in honor of the short story contest and Halloween, I thought I would read you a short story that I wrote for an adventure lab. This adventure lab is on a walking trail around a park lake, and you go to the points and you read the story, and the answers for the adventure lab location is in the story. So instead of going someplace and finding information off of a plaque or something, you just take a nice little walk, read a story, hopefully have a little bit of fun. So I thought I would read you that story. It's about cryptids, supposed to be a little bit spooky. I don't know if it really is spooky, but that's the idea of it. It's not a geocaching story, but a story for a geocache. I'm not going to insert the questions from the Adventure Lab. I'm just going to read you the story. And again, I'm doing this because this was my Adventure Lab that I created. I'm not taking it from somebody else, so I feel comfortable going ahead and sharing this with you. The name of the Adventure Lab is called A Walk Through the Park. You've just spent all day at the library doing research on local lore and legends. During your research, you managed to dig up some information on some of the local monsters. But now it's early evening and it's time to head home. But when you step out of the library and into the fresh air, you realize how beautiful the weather is and decide to take the long way home through the park. It's a lovely day for a walk through the park after all. But as you walk along, you notice you don't see anyone else in this part of the park. That's a bit odd, you think to yourself, given how nice the weather is, but shrug it off and keep walking. It's that time of day when the sun is still up, but is low enough that it casts shadows that are long and distorted. The odd shadows cast about you gives the place almost an eerie feeling to it. Just then, a large shadow swoops over top of you and the sound of wings rushes by. You dive to the ground with thoughts of the giant paisa bird from Native American legend that was said to snatch up hunters right out of the fields, and what some thought to be the cause of mysterious giant bird sighting that took place in St. Louis in 1948. With your hands protecting your head, you wait for the worst, but nothing comes. You look up to see a few geese that just landed in the field by you. It was the geese, no paisa bird. You get up and laugh shakily at yourself. Maybe you spent too much time reading monster stories today. You watch as the geese ease into the water of the nearby pond. Your earlier jitters ease away as you take in the sights. Wow, this place really is beautiful, you think. It feels good to be outside amongst nature. You notice a shape moving out of the corner of your eye. It's off in the tree line near the edge of the woods. You look, expecting to see a deer, but whatever caused it seems to be gone. But something isn't right. All the sounds of nature are gone. No bees, no birds, no frogs. The water is completely still. Even the geese seem to have vanished, taking refuge somewhere. It's as if they're all scared off. That uneasiness from earlier comes back. What was that shape in the woods? Is that what scared all the animals? Your mind races with thoughts of monsters. What if it was the Ozark Howler, a strange bear wolf-like creature? You start walking faster. Your eyes dart back and forth along the tree line, watching for any movement. It's still eerily quiet. Where are the birds and the bugs? Why is it so quiet? Off to the right, deeper in the tree line, you swear you saw something dart through the trees. Which way was it going? Is it getting closer or farther away? Your rational mind tries to tell you it's most likely a deer or maybe even a coyote. You've seen both near here before. You could almost believe yourself if it wasn't so deathly quiet. Thoughts of the Nixa hellhound race through your head. Could it have made its way up here from Springfield? Paranormal researchers say it shows up 18 hours before horrific storms occur. Is that why it's so quiet? The animal sense a terrible storm coming? The thought of a terrible storm 18 hours from now doesn't calm your nerves. You're almost to the part of the park that backs up to your neighborhood. Worst case, you can run to the neighbors for help and tell them what exactly? That for some reason the park is completely void of nature sounds and you thought you saw something that might be any number of local monsters? You're surely to be laughed at or have the door slammed in your face. You see movement out of the corner of your eye. The figure comes racing forward out of the woods. You expect to see Momo, Missouri's own version of Bigfoot that is thought to be spotted out on Howell Island. It could have easily made its way here. Suddenly the figure jumps out of the wood and you're face to face with the deer. It scampers off as you try to slow your heart rate. It was just a deer the whole time. But why is it so quiet? You suddenly realize you still have your earplugs in. You have a habit of wearing earplugs when you research to help you focus. You forgot to remove them when you left the library. You do so now, and the sounds of nature come rushing in. You really let your imagination get the better of you. Maybe stay away from monster stories for a while. You leave the park and walk into your neighborhood, none the wiser of the two small red eyes watching from the woods as you walk off.